So today I'm here with Fernando. I'm Monica Orr, and we're going to be talking about female serial killers and a little bit about the psychology behind that. Fernando, I believe you have some questions.
What's your favorite? What do you like to do on your free time?
I really enjoy, one of the things I've enjoyed for a few years now is going and researching certain case studies behind the female serial killers. So last year, actually a big thing I did was for an ELA project. I spent my time reading several different books on the psychology behind female serial killers while also reading into several different cases to then put in my paper for that class.
Do you like any other books?
I like a lot of books, yeah. Specifically serial killer related, if that's what we're going to be talking about today. I think, I can't quite remember the title, but it was amazing. I found it through an article written by Britannica. But it talked a lot about female serial killers and them in comparison to male serial killers, which are actually a lot more common by almost 99 point whatever, goes on forever. About 0.04% of serial killers worldwide are female. And in the US, that portion I think is bigger because the US is actually known for having a large amount of serial killers, or we've been quite prolific in that viewpoint.
What is your favorite serial killer?
My favorite serial killer? Well, I don't exactly condone anything they've done, but I do, one of the stories that I mainly focused on, I really enjoyed reading about the serial killer around the 1800s, Belle Gunness. She was a Norwegian immigrant, and her backstory was what really interested me. While growing up, she lived in Norway, right? Obviously, she's a Norwegian immigrant. By the age of 18, she was pregnant, and she miscarried due to the fact that at some local event, it's unspecified as there's not much information on this part of her story, but it is largely assumed that a man essentially came up to her, whether he was whether he was angered or not is unsure, but he then proceeded to kick her in the stomach hard enough for her to miscarry her baby. And so this kind of set off the point where Belle Gunness began to not trust these men. She was what you would call a black widow. So she'd marry, and then she'd kill them and take their money. Eventually she did immigrate to the U.S., and she got a farm. She immigrated to the U.S., and before the farm, she had a candy shop with her husband and her children. That mysteriously burned down. No one knows. It's actually, currently, most people assume that she's the one who burned it down, as this was a repeat offense in her case. And so she collected that insurance money, and they moved to Illinois, just a little north of Chicago, and they were able to buy a farm, and they started living there. Eventually, though, her husband mysteriously died on the day where back then his life insurance overlapped, making it double the amount it was normally. And so she didn't go to court. No one thought anything of it. It was a simple accident. It was assumed that he died of something like a heart attack. But her foster child was rumored to be saying on the playground to one of her friends, "I saw Mommy with a meat cleaver standing over Daddy while he was asleep." This then brought Belle Gunness to court. She claimed that she chalked it up to being that of the child's imagination. And so, it continues. Her husband's dead. She starts putting out what they called, it was kind of like online dating for back then. She would place an advertisement like, "Hey, I'm looking for someone, I've got money," because she was rich, and she was looking to combine wealth. And so slowly but surely, she brought in more and more men, and they would all mysteriously disappear, but no one thought anything of it. And actually, her foster daughter also disappeared as well. Belle was caught saying that she had just run away to go to college in California. This, however, was not true. But, continuing on with our story, one day, a specific, Belle Gunness, she gets a response to one of the advertisements, and it's another Norwegian man. She mainly focused on the Norwegian immigrants because they were new to America and they didn't have family. And so what better way than to marry another Norwegian immigrant who's already planted her roots so that you can get on your feet. But this man reached out, and so they married, and she took her money, and he died. But his brother back in Norway, or maybe it was his sister, I think it was his sister back in Norway reached out and was asking if he was okay, because she hadn't heard from him in a while. Belle then responded with, I don't know, he disappeared. And so this, actually I do think it was a brother, sorry. The brother was like, oh, well, I'm coming over to America because I was going to immigrate and I wanted to get in touch with him. I'm coming over, I'll help you look for him, we'll find him. The night before the brother was supposed to arrive, Belgunnis's farm lit up and on fire. In the remains, in the ashes of her farm, they started discovering dead bodies and bones and remains. They found the teeth of her foster daughter and that of many other men who she had killed. They also found the set of Belgunnis's implanted teeth, which alluded to her being dead, except she wasn't. It's widely assumed that she then ran away to California and was never caught. And she killed over 24 people.